Hey everybody, Ronald here for God's Code for Business, and I'm so excited to begin to bring foundational truths on what God's Code for Business really looks like. And it's exciting to see that we're living in this time and age, and we'll begin to cross over various topics and begin to understand the balance of what it looks like, because you have multi-extremes. So you have one far to the right that excessively want to overexploit what prosperity looks like, and one far to left doesn't believe that God's children has the right to prosper. So the question is, are there blueprints in the Bible? What does it look like? Are there people that has lived out that, and what does it look like in today's world? And when we take things like capitalism, socialism, and communism, which of these things can we learn from, and what do we take forward to create a blueprint for other people to live from? So for us to begin to understand God's code for business, we need to look at something and where the foundation of this comes from. So in Genesis 2, verse 10 to 14, it says, "Now there's a river that flowed out of Eden, became 4 riverheads." So now we look at two things. Two things I want to highlight: that the river flowed out of Eden, and outside of Eden we see multiplication. So before we can even get multiplication, we need to understand Eden, right? So what is Eden? And so let me just give you a slight sketch and overview of Eden that I think would definitely begin to help further the conversation. So Eden is a place that the Lord himself planted. I'll show you this. God spoke everything into existence and it became living. So outside of God is intention, is living. God is creator God, and this is the role that he functions out. And he said he spoke and things became living, right? And then it says that God planted a garden. So why would God not speak the garden into existence, right? And this is so powerful. The reason God did that is that God personally wanted to create a place for us to live inside. So it says that before you were formed in the womb of your mother, God set you apart. Jeremiah is saying that God set me apart as a prophet unto a nation. So there we see that before you were formed, there's a predetermination or a destiny before you even existed. So if you look at the ecosystem of life right now, animals don't look and wait for God to begin to tell it how to cycle out, to live within the cycle. It just lives and begins to live according to what God has put inside of them. So the struggle for humanity is it struggles to figure out what God has put inside of them and how to bring it outside of them. So let's look at Eden. Now you have Eden. God has created Eden. He puts man inside of Eden, and he just wants man to be there, and everything coexists and cohesively works together in the benefit of people. And then you see the great fall, and this is where man begins to toil in all of that kind of stuff. And now it says like Eden is a place of delight. The minute inside, let's look at Eden as the foundation of your heart. So and it says delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you all these other things. So the minute you can put God first, God begins to put you first. So the minute you put God above your plans becomes God's plans, and God's plan becomes your plans, right? And from that becomes multiplication, because the center of everything that God has ever done in humanity is because of people, for people, through you, to people, right? He said to Abraham, through you, I will bless the nations of the earth. So there's always something, there's always not only a catalyst, but there's always a recipient that God is focusing on, that he wants to bless through you, right? So through Jesus, all mankind gets salvation, whether they accept it or not. It's a free gift, right? So now that we can understand that multiplication only starts after Eden. So today's lesson is Eden is a place of delight that has been created by God for you, and it's for you, so you would need nothing the minute you are focused and you're at the point where Eden is. And you know where Eden is between two rivers, which I'll focus on another stage, which is called confluence. But today I just want to bless you to say that you have been intentionally created by God for multiplication.